Good Monday morning, and thank you for joining us on KARE 11 News Now. I'm Jason Hackett. Let's get to your headlines. This morning, House Speaker Lisa Demuth is making her first public appearance, announcing her candidacy in Minnesota's gubernatorial race. This comes just a day after the state's highest-ranking Republican announced her intention to run against Governor Tim Walz. In the last 12 hours, Demuth published her first campaign video, taking aim at the current Walz administration. As the DFL governor seeks re-election for a third term in 2026, the lawmaker from Cold Springs called out how Walz handled the state surplus, taxes, and fraud.
He attacked ICE and gave free health care to illegal immigrants. That's not leadership, that's betrayal. But Minnesotans don't give up. We fight for what's right.
The Minnesota DFL issued this statement saying, quote, Lisa Demuth is the corporate candidate in this race. If Lisa Demuth and the billionaires win, Minnesotans lose. Several other Republicans have launched their campaigns for governor. That includes State Representative Kristen Robbins, 2022 nominee Scott Jensen, and businessman Kendall Qualls. Today, candidates are making their final push for votes in tomorrow's election. Minneapolis mayoral candidates were out door knocking this weekend. Incumbent Mayor Jacob Frey held a Get Out the Vote rally that included the support of Governor Tim Walz.
We are in the final moments of a campaign. I won't make any predictions here today because we've got a hell of a lot of work left to do over these final 3 days. But what I will tell you is all of the momentum is right here with us.
State Senator Omar Fateh held his own rally and door-knocking event. He also held a food drive in response to the SNAP benefits pause. The rally included the support of Congresswoman Ilhan Omar.
So these last few days, it's about voter contact, making sure that people that are also committed actually show up to vote. So we're going to make it happen.
Over in St. Paul, Mayor Melvin Carter is seeking a third term as mayor. He has 4 challengers. St. Paul residents will also decide on 2 ballot measures, including whether to hike property taxes to provide more than $37 million to St. Paul public schools. So today is your last day to vote early in person before polls open at 7 o'clock tomorrow. If you need more information about what's on your ballot, how to vote, or where to vote, we got that all for you on our website, KARE11.com. Well, this morning, the government shutdown is fast approaching a 35-day record-setting run here during President Trump's first term, while millions of Americans remain without federal food benefits. The president now facing a new deadline to figure out how his administration will comply with the federal judge's order to fund SNAP benefits as the shutdown continues. In the meantime, a new NBC News poll is shedding light on who the public blames for the shutdown right now. NBC's Alice Barr has the very latest from Washington, D.C.
A critical deadline today with more than 40 million Americans waiting for low-income SNAP food benefits to kick in after funding ran out in the government shutdown.
It's really disturbing to see that some of our most vulnerable people are at risk.
Food drives across the country as long lines from Houston to LA demonstrate the urgent need.
I'm seeing a lot of people that I can see in their eyes they never thought they'd ever be in a food pantry line.
The Trump administration has until noon to respond to a federal judge's order to use contingency funds to restart the benefits. President Trump deflecting blame to Democrats.
If they vote to open the country and it's opened up immediately, we don't even have to think about that.
While on CBS's 60 Minutes, he again called for the nuclear option, getting rid of the filibuster to reopen the government without needing votes from Democrats, who are holding firm on health care provisions as part of any funding deal.
The Republicans have to get tougher. If we end the filibuster, we can do exactly what we want.
A new NBC News poll finds 52% of Americans surveyed blame President Trump and Republican lawmakers for the shutdown. 42% blame Democrats, with both President Trump and Democrats earning low approval ratings.
I think that Democrats are passive, and I think that Republicans are predatory. I think the whole system is a mess.
Elections tomorrow offering another snapshot of how Americans are feeling as both parties look ahead to next year's critical midterms. That new NBC News poll also showed voters split on immigration, with 50% of those surveyed holding negative feelings about ICE. Asked about ICE tactics on 60 Minutes, President Trump said he felt they hadn't gone far enough to get people out of the country, blaming liberal judges for holding them back. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Well, tomorrow, 500,000 Minnesotans will likely not receive their SNAP benefits as the government shutdown continues. SNAP generally gets distributed starting on the 4th of each month, but even after 2 federal judges ruled last week that the USDA must fund the program, it's not clear if that decision was made in time for recipients to get their November benefits. So Twin Cities businesses are jumping in to help feed hungry families, and among them is Hope Breakfast Bar. Its chef says the restaurant will serve free pancakes from 7 to 9 every morning until SNAP benefits get restored.
We don't know what to expect today, but we brought in a few hundred pounds of pancake mix and about 20 gallons of syrup. So we'll be doing this every day until benefits are restored, and then we'll add more and more Hope locations as we see a need.
So if you're a family who needs help, there are more places you can go. The Shakopee Bowl says your kids can eat free at the restaurant, no purchase necessary, no questions asked. You can also take part in a community meal over at Egg Roll Queen in Little Canada on Wednesdays and Fridays from 3 to 8 p.m. And the Buzz Coffee and Cafe in Burnsville will serve you a free chili dinner on Wednesday from 5:30 to 7 p.m. If you're interested, you can sign up on their website. This morning, a top drug regulator at the Food and Drug Administration stepping down among controversy here. George Tidmarsh submitted his resignation after being placed on administrative leave on Friday. That's after he allegedly posted a since-deleted comment about a new drug made by a Canadian pharmaceutical company, saying that the drug had significant toxicity. On Sunday, the company filed a lawsuit accusing Tidmarsh of false statements and soliciting a bribe. Tidmarsh was named the FDA's director of the Center for Drug Evaluation and Research this past July. This week, the Minneapolis Teachers Union and the school district will be back at the bargaining table, hoping to avoid a strike. The union says they had a marathon negotiation session over the weekend with an agreement on pay for adult educators. They still have 6 more areas to negotiate, including class sizes and more staffing for special education. Both sides think they can reach a fair agreement before teachers walk off the job on November 11th. This morning, we're waiting for charges in the deaths of 2 people found shot inside of a home in southern Minnesota. The Brown County Sheriff's Office says the victims are a 50-year-old man and a 32-year-old woman, both found inside of a home in Hanska, which is about 2 hours southwest of the Twin Cities. Dispatchers say they received a 911 call from a boy who told them his mom's ex-boyfriend broke into their house and shot her. Authorities say the 45-year-old suspect was arrested last night in Iowa. Now, it's not clear if he's back in Minnesota this morning. There's no word right now on the other person killed. Right now, the trial begins for one of the brothers accused of helping kill a woman, her husband, and her son in Coon Rapids. Court documents say 31-year-old Demetrius Schumpert and his brother were caught on surveillance video taking part in the killings last year. Investigators say Schumpert pistol whipped one of the victims and forced another to open cabinets while demanding money. In September, 37-year-old Alonzo Mingo was sentenced to life in prison for his role in the murders. We are learning new details about a mass stabbing on a train in England. Earlier this morning, police announced they've charged a 32-year-old British man in connection with the attack. Police initially said yesterday they had arrested 2 men, but they confirmed later on that the other man wasn't involved. 11 people were injured in the attack. Police say 2 of the victims suffered serious injuries. Right now, officials don't believe this was a terror attack. NBC's Molly Hunter reports from London.
The details coming out of this attack are really terrifying. It happened Saturday night, of course, Halloween weekend. Lots of people coming into London for parties. And police say the stabbing rampage started just after the train made the stop at a little town called Peterborough. At that point, eyewitnesses describe indiscriminate stabbing, running down the aisles, and then people yelling kind of run with blood dripping down their face, blood on seats. A couple of eyewitnesses even said they thought at first it was a Halloween prank, of course, again, Halloween weekend, and then they realized it was serious. At that point, 2 people really saved lives. The first is an unnamed rail worker, according to the UK Transport Secretary, who they say detectives and the Transport Secretary has seen video of him attempting to stop the attacker from injuring more people. And the second person is the train driver who made the very quick decision to make an emergency stop at the next train station, Huntington. That allowed police and emergency responders and services to be waiting at that train station just 8 minutes after the first emergency call. We've seen video of police pinning down, actually apprehending, taking 2 men into custody. Well, one of those 2 men has been released. The other, Anthony Williams, he's a 32-year-old from Peterborough. He is in court this morning facing 10 charges of attempted murder, 1 charge of possession of a blade. He is also facing charges, police say, from a previous incident on Saturday of attempted murder. Molly Hunter, NBC News, London.
This morning, rescue efforts are underway in Afghanistan after a 6.3 magnitude earthquake killed at least 20 people and injured hundreds more. The earthquake struck off one of Afghanistan's largest cities with a depth of 17 miles just before 1 a.m. local time. Officials believe the death toll is likely to rise as rescue teams assess the damage. The country that lies where the Indian and Eurasian plates meet is especially vulnerable to earthquakes. This is the fourth major tremor in Afghanistan since 2021. Stick with us. More news and weather coming up after the break.